Hello, hello, period. Testing 1, 2, 3. New line, new line, new line. And let's try a new paragraph. And let's try a new paragraph. Okay, I was trying to say how good this stuff normally is, including the fact that it understands punctuation and such. New line, new line. I'm pretty sure that those new lines are going to appear in a minute, but maybe that's another thing. How about that? It really literally appeared just because I didn't say it sooner or something. Okay, that's one way that it's better than my phone. I don't know, dictating on my phone it's more trouble than it's worth, and I keep trying it. But dictating on my Mac is suddenly working really well, and I wish someone had told me so I could start using it more. Period. So I'm telling you, please check it out if you have a Mac. Period. New line. New line. And let's cry! Exclamation point. Now there's an example of it being smart. It added the period, and then I said add the exclamation point, and then it got rid of the period and replaced it. Period. A lot of stuff going on as I'm typing. Period. It's actually fun just to watch. Period. I mean, you want to know what's going on in the AI's head, comma, you can see it working. You can see what it's thinking because it does something quickly, but then when it has more context, it comes back and does something better. Period. New line, new line. Sometimes I think when I move the cursor manually, that makes it respect the new lines. Period. Yeah, that's undo. Yeah, I noticed that before, period, and I just didn't remember the details, period. And I like saying period. It eventually seems to figure it out on its own, but saying it shows up immediately, and if I look, I don't worry about it. Period. New line, new line. Sorry, back to the new line thing. I keep getting distracted. What I noticed before was that it seemed to do it kind of when I wasn't expecting it to. Okay, I don't see this as much. Sorry, I'm getting way too distracted on so many things. Let me finish the new line discussion. Period. And that time it knew what this actually was supposed to be. Period. My point was that it adds the new lines at the worst times, like when I never expect it. New line, new line. Let me go back to the top and edit a few things. You see, I tried to edit something. I tried to click on it to say I wanted to edit on it. Excuse me, to edit. That text, but as soon as I clicked, everything moved in a jerky motion. Period. Maybe that's my biggest complaint about AI in general, period. No one knows the limits, and everyone just keeps pushing it to do stuff that it's not quite ready to do. Instead of the next $1 million of computing they're going to buy, why not hire one more person to test this stuff and just, normal user stuff? The things that get in the way and make it hard to use. I mean, seriously, there are some smarts here. Okay, credit where it's due. My brother Ed reminded me that we've been dealing with this AI for a long time in the form of the grammar checker, period. And that's a good way to see real progress, period. I remember when I first started using Word, they had that squiggly green line to say that it didn't think something was right. And it used to be on by default, and then they turned it off by default, and now they've turned it back on by default because it does work better. In dash. I hope this makes sense. I wasn't jumping around randomly, comma. I'm assuming that the same stuff that does the speech to text and the grammar checker, they're sharing some code and they're growing together. Period. M dash. Space. N dash. I shouldn't try to do these things live, comma, my mind is just everywhere, as it usually is, period. My point is that we've been watching this tech grow for a long time, especially if you used Word back in the late 90s, period. Microsoft. Yeah. And it has gotten better. And it has gotten better. Period. It's been continuous and slow, but there's real results, and we're looking at them right now, period. And again, that's credit to my brother Ed for pointing that one out. New line, new line. I forgot, I can hit a button. It's the F5 button that looks like a microphone, and that makes it easier to turn the dictation on and off. Again, some of this is just that I don't know how to use it, and I just need to get better at it and start practicing. I was starting to look at those things that are highlighted in blue. That usually means that the grammar checker doesn't like them, which is interesting since the grammar checker wrote those. I mean, the AI wrote those. In some programs, I really see the AI and the grammar checker disagreeing with each other a lot, period. Yeah, the period makes me feel better if I type it myself. Again, it usually gets it, but I spent way too much time watching that sentence because first it added this period, and then it took it away when I kept typing, but then it added it back once I typed more. It just needed context, and honestly, I should just take off my glasses when I'm doing this. And there's a new one right here, period. Let's see what it says. Period. Hovering does nothing. Maybe I need to click. Period. Okay. Period. I clicked. Period. The screen jumped. Period. I don't think it actually did anything. Period. But the blue thing went away. Period. In some programs, the grammar checker and the dictation AI definitely need to work together, period. Here I can see it going back, period. In a lot of programs, it just points out bad stuff that the AI did to you, but it doesn't automatically fix it, period. Okay, that time it actually did something good, period. Maybe it could have done that automatically, period. Maybe it was too ambiguous, period. I want some more examples, period. But again, it jumped on me. I didn't do that on purpose. It just decided to do what it's going to do, period. Okay, we can speak freely. The AI has taken over my house and it's holding me hostage, and I think it's listening into. Oh, got to get back to it. Those new lines are gonna appear in a minute. Is that the right way to spell it? Okay, I've officially given up on this. It's definitely better than a lot of these, and my point was that it's probably worth looking at. It's definitely worth looking at on the Mac. I wish my phone would catch up because it really sucks. I've considered doing videos on why the phone sucks, but I think there's probably enough of those out there already. Yeah, this is it getting really stupid. It's what I was saying before, or starting to say, or trying to say, but now I finally have an example. It highlighted that because something about it bothered it. Maybe it was a grammar problem, maybe it was uncertain what I said. Can you hear the train? Sometimes the train gets muffled. I think it's what software I use to record. I love the train. In fact, I need to do a video about my train trip from a couple of years ago. Okay. Yeah, so that's. For some reason, it didn't like that word, but it can't tell me why. It highlighted it, but it doesn't remember why, and it says, well, you can look it up, you can translate it. I'm asking it. It grabbed my attention. It said, hey, look at the word that's. And I say, what about the word that's? And it says, I don't know, we can look it up. So, yes, it's not being used right. They need so much more cleanup, just like most software. They need to actually try to use it and see the real stuff that's going on. And, but yeah, hold on. Yeah, let's end this one right. Period. Yeah, let's end this one right. Period. End dash. Something I noticed about the phone. Period. It seems like it has good days and it has bad days. Period. I don't know if someone did an upgrade on the server. Period. Maybe I got hooked up to a random server at different times. Period. But this stuff was working better last time, and I was actually using it and pushing it. Now it's slightly annoying, but still worth looking at and using more often. Period. In dash. One more time. New line. New line. Carriage return. Line break. New line. New line. Yeah, let's end this one right. Getting closer. So the editing ability is either missing or I don't know how to use it. And it seems better when I kind of know what I want to say, and especially if I have bullet points or something, or I'm actually reading something. But sometimes when I'm just thinking, I'm trying different sentences, different ideas, just throwing shit out there, poo icon. No, it's confused because it's expecting me to make sense, and I'm not. I'm just throwing out some words that I want to remember, and I don't expect it to understand. ¿Cómo se puedo ayudar? Question mark. Again, I bet if I set something to Spanish, it would have done that perfectly. New line, new line. It is all my fault. One thing I've learned about testing, nothing makes things break faster than saying, hey, look at this. Sometimes people ask me what I think about AI, period. Obviously, it's real, period. Sometimes people ask me what I think about AI, period. open parenthesis, it was a lot nicer yesterday, close parenthesis, close parenthesis. Okay, now it's starting to act like my phone again, period. Short version, comma, AI is real, comma, things are happening, comma, if you follow the tech stuff, it's interesting, period. But there is just so much hype over this new stuff, comma, the LLMs, period. I don't usually watch the news, comma, but last time I did, it was just full of hype still. When I watch the programming channels, they're all making fun of the new AIs. Actually, I need to go back to this video from about 7 years ago that was describing the image generation stuff, the way it worked back then. It was simpler back then, so it was easier to understand what was going on, period. I need to do a review or something of that video because there was some cool stuff in there that's even more relevant today, period. Again, I was hoping to show off the good stuff here, period. It actually does a decent job for the most part with the dictation on the Mac, period. At least worth a look, period. But what I really find interesting is just watching it work, comma, the way that sometimes it starts to write one thing and then writes another, period. If you really want to know what AI is about, comma, try dictating to your Mac, period. Oh my goodness, how do I uninstall Google Home and everything so I won't be